Okay, just a quick update. We're driving for the first time our EV9 on a long road trip. So we'll be driving down to Salt Lake City. Anyhow, and we stayed at a Marriott last night, and there were chargers there, not superchargers, but there were level 1s and 2 chargers there. And there were about 8 of them in front of the hotel, and almost like it was on purpose, there were vehicles parked in every single charger. There were lots of other available parking, and none of them were EVs. So they blocked all of the chargers, and we came in late, so it was around 11 o'clock or 10:30 or something, and they were all blocked, so we couldn't get hooked up to the charger. So then I found a level 1 charger out in the parking lot, not associated. It was anyway, a level 1 charger. Had to pay like $2 an hour, and took a brutal to get the app onto my phone and get the credit card information and all that stuff. So it took me 20 minutes to start charging, and charged all night, and only got up to 47% charge or something. Like, level 1 chargers are absolutely useless. So now, this morning I ran over to the Hampton Inn, which is on the other end of town, and they have 8 of these big Tesla level 3 chargers. And I'm plugged in here, and I'll be, I don't know, I think it says I'll be another 17 minutes. So it was about 30 minutes to get me the rest of the way charged up. 28 minutes, and then I'll be at 100% in 28 minutes. The ladies are not up yet, so it's not like anybody's waiting for me. And then I have to do the one other maintenance issue. You always have to charge, and sometimes you got to put in bug juice, but that's all. So I guess the moral of the story is you need to plan out these trips, because 8 Tesla superchargers at the Hampton Inn, you're gonna get to charge, and it's gonna take under an hour. So you arrive at the hotel, check in, plug in, have a little bit to eat, and you're charged. Then park wherever you want. And I'm not sure how Tesla, especially in a hotel situation like this, if you get charged for leaving it plugged in here all night. I'm not sure how that works yet. But anyway, so we're excited to be going down to see my parents. They're down living in Salt Lake here for the next 18 months or 2 years. So it'll be nice to see mom and dad. So this is the nicest charging station we've ever seen. It's at a Flying J. We're boosting it over 200 kilowatts, which I thought the car was only capable of 200, but it's just pushed a little up over 200. If we had an even bigger battery, they could go up to 350. So amazing. 203, we've never seen anything that high before, kilowatts at a time. And so it is just charging up super fast. So it's only 14 minutes to get to 80%. And that's what we're gonna do. The last 20%, that last 20% takes quite a bit more time, another 30 minutes just to get that last 20%. So just because to not overheat the battery, it slows down quite a bit. So we'll just blast it up to 80% in 15 minutes, 14 minutes, and then we'll be on our way. Away we go. Like, this is the first time I've been to a charging station. It's part of a big gas station and diesel truck stop, but they have an actual like cover and lights. Whoa, there's big lightning. There's a big thunderstorm happening to the south of us. Anyway, so then 2 hoses on each one. So 4 chargers here, but you're covered, and you have your garbage and your washing for your windows, all this stuff. It's like they actually are treating EV people with some respect. So very, very nice. Charging up super fast. Yeah, once we have infrastructure like this in a lot of places, then traveling with an EV will become much quicker, because all you need is a credit card. You don't need apps and all that stuff. You just tap and go, and charging at high speed. All right, so I'm down in the States. I'm in a Target. There's a bit of construction here, but it's a Target parking lot, and they have these EVgo GM Energy 350 kilowatt max, and I was very low on battery. Like I had like 18 miles left, so I ran it almost completely out and jumped onto this thing, and it jumped almost, very quickly up to 200 kilowatts of charge. And so it only took, like, it was crazy, maybe 17 minutes max to get to 80%, which is, that's your speed zone. After 80%, it slows down quite a bit, and that's good enough to get me to all the next places that I need to go. And so that's kind of what we're doing this trip, is just charge to 80, because that's super fast. Instead of staying around another 30 minutes to get the last 20%. You get 60% in 15 minutes, say from 20% all the way up to 80%, and then just give her. And you spend way less time charging. Yeah, and these are super nice, because you just tap with a credit card. I didn't have to get an app or anything. I just tapped my credit card, and away we go. So, and this is very encouraging. This is in Salt Lake City, but as this kind of infrastructure gets put into place, and and there's 2, 4, 6, 8 8 cords here that are potential, so 8 cars can charge, and so you're most likely to be able to have an open charger. So this is awesome. All right, David again. It's a rainy day here in Pocatello, Idaho, and I just finished charging the EV9 at a hotel. So we stayed at the Marriott Courtyard, and it had some Blink chargers out in the parking lot, level 2 chargers. So we stayed there overnight. There was a family dinner for a wedding last night, and then the wedding is later today, and so we stayed at the hotel. I got up this morning, went for a swim, and then I got a notice, an email or a text that my car was finished charging, and so I went down. Now I'm in the car. I'm gonna go grab some breakfast, bring it back to the hotel for Tammy and I, Tammy and me, Tammy and us somehow. Anyhow, and I just wanted to report in that that little Blink charger, it's like level 2, so it took 8 hours to put 88 kilowatt hours into our battery, and it cost $22. And so this battery isn't quite 100 kilowatts. I think it's just under 100 kilowatt hour battery. So we were pretty low, obviously. It put in 88 kilowatts, charged me all the way up to 100% for $22. So that's about 25 cents a kilowatt hour, which isn't bad. I mean, at home you would pay, well, it depends on where you live and all that, but for us it would be somewhere between 7 and 10 cents a kilowatt if we were buying it at home. We use solar, so it's different. But in general, and some people could even get it cheaper than that, depending on what contracts they have. Anyhow, so I thought that was reasonably fair. Some of the big fast chargers can be up more around 50 cents a kilowatt. I mean, and they are fast. And so that's, but a hotel where you're staying overnight, a level 2 charger that will charge you up in 8 hours for $22 seems like a great, that's a reasonable deal. That's cheaper than buying gas, for sure. And so just letting you know. We thought this car could only take under 200, but it's taking 215 right now. And it's taking about 5 seconds for every mile to be added. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Anyway, whoa, that one was really fast. So super fast charging. It says 46 minutes to get all the way to 100, but only 13 minutes to get to 80. And we don't even need, we've got more than we need, but we'll stay here for a couple more minutes and then away we'll go. Okay, so this is an Ogden, Utah, Rocky Mountain Power. This is an ultra fast, up to 350, well, hyper fast. And so last night at the hotel, we did about 88 kilowatts in, overnight. And this did, now we're at 80%, so we're gonna shut down. So it did about 84 kilowatts in 30 minutes. So way faster than a level 2 charger. But when you're staying at a hotel. But yeah, this cost $34 instead of last night it was $22. So it's not crazy, but I guess they're charging around 40 cents. Yeah, there it is. Whoa, come on. 40 cents a kilowatt plus tax and plus $1. Anyway, so still not a terrible price for how fast. These cables, from what I understand, are liquid cooled because they're so big. And so they have, yeah, there it says it right on there. It says for use only in an approved cooling system. So there's a cooling system on these big cables because it's pushing crazy amount of juice. Like a house can run on like 10 kilowatts, like your transformer on your house. And if you had a farmyard, you might have a 20 or a 30. If you're doing a big building or whatever, you might, whoa, and more big lightning. But this is 300 kilowatts on both sides. So 350. So there's obviously 700 kilowatts going through this charger. But through this one cable is 350 kilowatts. So you need massive transformers to power this kind of a system. Huge transformers. The biggest transformers we have on the farm are 500, and that's to run a home farmyard and all the, well, big equipment. Most farmyards would never need 500 kilowatts. We have some big ones for solar and stuff, but we are going to install here in a few weeks a 240 kilowatt charger, and we will have to increase the size of one of our transformers to be able to handle that, plus the other equipment that we have there. But anyway, so very nice, high power, nice, very cool.